Good evening, one and all. Good evening. Thank you, DJ, for the raid from the retro show.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Look, people, if you don't go and watch that show, you're seriously missing out. It's absolute legend, that show. It really is. And third week on the trot, I'll pick the right shirt. So just saying, guys, just saying.
There you go.
So that obviously means I know my old.
Paul Nash just got the green shirt I don't like.
No.
Did you like the shirt that we put you in, though, Jez? I think it was the Millwall one, wasn't it? We put you in?
Yeah. That's quality, man. That's absolutely good. Love that one. Yeah, proper shirt, that is. Proper shirt. Anyway, people, here we are. We have the real ones, the real legends, the real fans. No bullshitters, no fakes, no people that flip-flop. You know, we have proper fans of it. And as always, Shano, how you doing, my friend?
Yeah, all good. Can't complain. Yeah, nice day today, out and about. Got a bit done, and just waiting for one more sunny day so I can get the grass done, last cut, and then it'll be all set. But all good. Looking forward to the show as always. One of my favorite shows of the week to do, and always a pleasure to share a screen with three legends and the wonderful chat.
Yeah, it is. I ask. Sorry, Bav. Apparently, according to YouTube, once your account has been deleted, it is deleted. I do apologise for that because it's me that did it on my own channel, which is bloody annoying. But I do apologise, mate. So I don't think there's anything I can do about it. I really apologise. Ken, nice result of the weekend, mate. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm all good. It's a good result. It reminds me of the sort of 23-24 season where we spent a lot of time, despite the fact that we're fiercely opposed to the manager staying in the job. We spent a lot of time in that season praising him and the kind of decisions he's made, selection-wise, in-game management, where it's akin to 23-24, where if anyone watches back our play ratings, Arteta got extremely high marks. Extremely high marks, and he got a high mark as well. So I was very impressed with what he did, and long may it continue.
Yeah, no, absolutely, totally agree. Actually, DJB, you can answer this question for me. Be up, Lawrence. Thank you for your super chat. Great segue. This. How does Mourinho get man of the match for just doing 10 minutes work while the likes of Gyökeres and Izzy put in a full shift for 90 minutes? Work that one out.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's not just an Arsenal thing. This, it seems that whoever scores a goal or an important goal, no matter how long they're on the field of play, get man of the match. And I think it's kind of, a lot of the pundits do it. Ali McCoy does it all the time. A player will come on, score a goal, or if he's a goal scorer, he gets man of the match. But I sometimes look at games and I think, well, apart from the goal, he hasn't done anything. Yep. So, do you know what I mean? But it's one of them for me where if you contribute to an important goal that leads either to a late equaliser or a late winner, you seem to have the divine right to have man of the match. It was an important goal. He took it well. He was in the right place at the right time. Did he do enough to get man of the match? Not for 10 minutes of football. No, not for me. There was some there was some better players there that should have got man of the match before Mourinho. I don't get that at all, really. But it is what it is in modern football now. They don't do anything. They pop up with a goal that's an important goal, and then suddenly they're man of the match, and they disregard all the defenders that have made important blocks or goalkeepers that have made important saves. I thought Pope was man of the match personally, but there you go. But and he's not even an Arsenal player. But that's where I am on it, my friend.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I thought he played out of his socks, to be fair to you. Well, this is just light-hearted start of the show. And then we're going to get into more important things, right? Disputed penalty. discussed it with Lee and Kenny last night, right, and Matty. Today, Howard Webber's come out and said it was never a penalty. VAR did the right job. So that just shows that I am a good referee. Just saying. Shane, mate, give me your. Was it a penalty? Was it not a penalty? I don't want to spin hours on this. Was it?
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'll be quick enough. You know what? You can sort of technically rule out anything you want. You can find a little small thing that technically it's not this or it's not that. But for me, if you're going to follow their rules, there wasn't enough clear and obvious for it to go to VAR in the first place. For me, I don't think there was. And I'll always say that, you know, I'll be quite harsh on Arsenal and say, well, what are you moaning about? And, you know, for me, for it to get overturned was harsh. Then you can get technical and say he clipped the ball and he pulled his knee away and all of this sort of stuff. But it shouldn't have gone to the screen for me. They should have looked at it and gone, yeah, do you know what? Maybe if we dig into it, we'll find something. But now if it's the other way around, fine. But then if you're going to do that then and give a drop ball, then the drop ball should have gone to Saka, surely, shouldn't it? Because the ball had gone to him after he had the ball. He was playing through. So there was it was a bit of a mess. It was a bit of a mess. But my big thing at the time was Arsenal are going to go in on themselves now and play the victim. And they did for about 20 minutes. You know, they started feeling sorry for themselves. Newcastle scored. Everybody's against us. So when they came back from that. But for me, these things even themselves out. You know, if Baldermeyer grabs his face and goes down and Gabriel clatters him, then he would have got sent off. They would have gone to the screen. He would have been sent off. So there was stuff for us that could have gone the other way. But for me, technically, I suppose it's not a penalty if you really, really dig into it. But it never should have gone to the screen. And it's very, very harsh for me that it wasn't given. Very, very harsh for me that it wasn't given.
Fair comment. Fair comment. I think you're wrong, but fair comment. You know, I might have given you a yellow card for that comment if I was the referee. Kenny, what was your opinion, my friend?
Well, as I said yesterday, up until we had a discussion on these channel, it was always a penalty all day. For me, it was a penalty all day because I didn't think there was much of a deviation. But however, as you explained the laws, and obviously I saw what Higher Webb said as well, the thing about it, right, is that I'm a massive fan of VAR. I'm probably the only one who is. The reason why I'm a massive fan of VAR, because I remember what it was like before VAR. I remember the discussions that, you know, that were had by pundits, managers, saying the referees need more help. Well, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. They got more help. You wanted goal line technology because of what happened in the World Cup with Frank Lampard. We've got that now. Football needs to accept for what it is. We've been left behind by so many sports who've had goal line, who've had technology to help them, and that's why you can probably get rid of the corruption. Remember, cricket was a very corrupt sport because of the betting, the betting scandals, people bowling wides for no reason, but no balls, umpires, and I say it in New Zealand, and I'm not taking them who are basically not giving them decisions against New Zealand players like Martin Crowe. In India, they weren't giving them decisions against Indian batsmen. In Pakistan, Javed Miandad was never given out LBW. So we know we got DRS. Now we got the third umpire. That's what you need. Rugby's got the same thing, like TMAs. Why does football have to be different? We call ourselves the most popular sport in the world, but we think that we should be exempt from technology. So, getting to my point, I accept the decision that it wasn't a penalty because I looked at the angles, I was shown the angles, I was shown the laws, and that's it. That's what VAR's for. Mm-hmm. Too bad if we can't celebrate a goal. How would you feel if it's the last seconds of the Champions League final, and PSG are given a goal, and 2 hours later it wasn't a goal after all, which was pre VAR. We would have gone absolutely berserk. But now with VAR, we know the right decision we made. Yes, they make mistakes in this country, but on a whole, been less mistakes than the ones we were getting pre-VAR. So for me, if it's a penalty, if it's a penalty, it's a penalty. If it's not a penalty, it's not a penalty. Let's not forget, we could have had a similar penalty go against us with Gabriel and Elanga. That went in our favour. VAR did its job. So I have to commend referees for doing a good job. At the time, I wanted to kill them. I won't lie. But up until yesterday, when it was explained to me by yourself, Jez, I accept the decision.
Yeah, I mean, DJB, what was your view in it, mate? What was your view?
I've got a different angle to come at this because
Go on.
the problem I've got is the word consistency. Because if you're not giving that as a penalty, then you've got to follow the VAR, and the referees have got to follow the rule all the way through the season. And we're not going to get that because you're going to see similar incidences in other games and a penalty will be given straight away. I'll flip it on this way. How many times do we watch football and the commentators say he got the ball, but his follow through caused the free kick? This is the problem. If that was on the halfway line or on the edge of the box, that's a free kick. Even though he got the ball, it was the follow through that brought the man down. And we've seen it time and time and time again when free kicks have been given, whereby they turn around and say, yeah, he did get the ball, but unfortunately the follow through, the momentum has made him foul the player as well. So otherwise, you're never going to see free kicks on a field of play, because if most tackles that you see free kicks given, or a lot of free kicks that are given, they've actually touched the ball first. I've seen it. I mean, we've all seen it. Back in the day when tackles used to go flying in, they'd play the ball first, but the player wouldn't get up for 3 or 4 minutes. You know, nowadays they play the ball first, the follow through fouls the player, and it's a free kick. So in that incident there, if you're going to give that as a free kick outside the box, you've then got to give the penalty. I think he was caught in two minds, because I think that if he'd have given the penalty, the next decision would have been a red card, because he was the last man. And I think that when he went to the monitor, he had that in his head and thinking, I don't think I've got the balls to send him off. And I think that changed his mind. Otherwise, that would have been a penalty. I can understand in the rules of the game it wasn't a penalty, and I fully understand that if he touched the ball first, then it's no penalty. However, if he gives the penalty, he's got to send him off. And secondly, it's not going to be consistent, because you will see penalties given for those sort of similar instances. You'll see it next week, the week after. You'll see it in the Champions League. If that's happened outside the box, even though they play the ball first, 9 out of 10 times they'll still give the free kick, because the momentum has failed the player. And in that incident, that should have been a penalty in my eyes. So Howard Webb is going to say what he says, because he's not going to be controversial against VAR, because then that puts everything about VAR in the bin. And I'm with Kenny. I'm for VAR. VAR is not the problem. It's like the person that can't drive behind the wheel, isn't it? The car's not the problem. It's the person driving it. It's the same as VAR. VAR is not the problem. It's the people that operate. It's the problem. It's not the actual technology. The actual technology is really good. It's just the people that operate it is the problem. But
I agree with it.
I understand where you're coming from, but for me, I think it was a penalty. If it's not a penalty, then I want to see consistency all round the field of play.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That is the major controversy in football now. It is the lack of consistency. And I'll tell you one of these things, right? As Mems Creamer is pointing out here, United versus Arsenal back in 2000 at Highbury just shows how many red cards should have been in that game. And sliding tackles Vieira and Keane got away with, especially the Vieira headbutt to Roy Keane. Fact. But the thing is, right, one of the problems I think, I don't want to make a big debate about this, because we could sit here and talk about it all fucking night, right? is referees, in my opinion, they don't use their referee assistants enough anymore.
Yeah, yeah. That's a
The
good
referee
point.
assistant was clearly in line with that challenge, right?
Mm.
And as I think I can't remember who said it last night. Was it Shane? Did you say it? Or Kenny? Somebody said it.
It was me on Lee's. I said,
Oh,
I
yeah,
said,
yeah,
I said,
he
what
said,
are assistants' jobs then? Well, what are they doing?
where's the old flag signal across
Across
the
the
chest?
chest, yeah.
They're saying it's a penalty or it's
Yeah.
not a penalty. I find that very annoying and I find it very frustrating. I think, what's the point of them being there? You know, they're getting paid professional. They're all professional referees.
Mm.
But let's go. A good question here, actually, from John. My dad is a Middlesbrough fan, so we're changing the subject here. He loves Bruce Rioch, so I'm going to go around the panel here.
Mm.
Got 3 promotions: a cup final versus Chelsea, and stay with Borough when bankrupt. He's a hero there. Was the Arsenal job too big of a job for him? Shane, then Kenny, then DJB. Have your say on that one.
Yeah, it was too big for him. It was too big for him. The big mistake he made was falling out with Ian Wright. That was the big. He was showing him videos of John McGinley and saying this is the type of run you should make. And you know, yeah, I understand coming in and trying to lay down the law. Now, I worked in kitchens, and obviously by the end of it, I was a head chef. But before that, when I was like a sous chef or a chef de partie or whatever, you'd get a new head chef. Some of them would come in and try to be too hands-on and start bollocking everybody to show that they're the boss. You have to find a happy medium. You can't come in and just bollock everybody. With Bruce Rioch, I felt for him. But the only thing is that you have to look at it as well, that the season before it could be considered turmoil. We'd lost the Cup Cup final, George Graham being gone. There was players there that had been signed by him right at the end, the Hartsons, the Chris Kawamyas, the even Glenn Helder, who I've been talking about not recently. He was his last sign. I think he signed him a week before he went. But you have to look at it as well objectively. Yeah, Bergkamp had come in, Platt. He didn't really know how to handle those guys. Bergkamp's first season wasn't spectacular. It was all right. Platt did quite well. But you have to take it as well that Tony Adams was at the I don't want to say the peak of his drinking. He was at the rock bottom of his drinking. He didn't care anymore. He's living in squalor in his house. Paul Merson had all his issues. And these are 2 of our best players, right? So he navigated that quite well. And he finished 5th. You know what I mean? Let's remember he finished 5th as well. So it wasn't a total disaster. He finished 5th. You got to the semi-finals of the League Cup. I think we went out on away goals. I could be wrong. I think we might have gone out on away goals. But he finished 5th. So I mean, when you put in the Tony Adams stuff, when you put in the Paul Merson stuff, when you put in the settling a player like Bergkamp, he did okay, but it was too big for him. It was definitely too big for him. He was I don't want to say a Sam Allardyce, but that sort of manager for me. He's good at getting the team out of the mire. He become a cult hero at a smaller team, just like Bruce Rioch at the previous clubs he was at. So yeah, I think it was a little big for him. Some managers either are resentful or they just can't handle big players. They're just not built to handle big players, and it shows. You know what I mean? I get that feeling with Amarin as well. I don't think he's able to handle big personalities, and I think that's where Rioch messed up. I think if he had got the balance between being tough and knowing when to put a hand around someone, he might have done a bit better. But he was doomed from the beginning. He was doomed from the beginning for me. It was never going to last. But credit for finishing 5th with a team that was sort of hanging by the seams. And yeah, so it was a bit of a big job for him, but he did better than a lot of people give him credit for, I think, is what I'm trying to round it off with.
I'm going to add to your what you just said. I'll get Kenny and DJ's opinion on this as about Bruce. I think his days were numbered from day one.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think David Dean and all that had already approached Wenger.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just a stopgap. He was a bit like Emery, really. They never wanted him. I mean, he did well. You know, he brought in David Platt and Bergkamp, so you can't knock it. But I still think he was set up, man. Anyway, Kenny, please. And then DJ, please.
Well, I echo what you both said. Bruce Rioch is, you think about it, Arsenal have always had a tradition of giving managers time. There's only 2 managers who never got time. Bruce Rioch and Unai Emery. Colin Later, never really wanted by the club. Never really believed in him. The club in 2018 wanted to appoint Arteta, but they didn't dare. It's funny that as soon as Unai Emery was deemed surface requirements, obviously they did the sort of token gesture interviewing, talking to Mourinho, token gesture, but the man they really wanted is Arteta. In terms of Bruce Rioch, I just felt for him. After me, when I first saw him at the club, I thought, that's not an Arsenal manager. Not because of the football he played. At Brighton, they played really good football. I just couldn't. It just didn't make sense. But yeah, Ian Wright was too big for the club. Way too big for the club. And let's face it, the fact that the players turned on Ian Wright after Bruce Rioch got the sack says a lot. Says a lot, right? What it says is that Bruce Rioch wasn't as unpopular as he's made out to be, and Ian Wright wasn't as popular in the dressing room as people would seem to think. And I'll leave it at that. But in terms of Bruce Rioch as well, yeah, Shane's right. Tony Adams was no help to him. No help to him. He was too busy, dealing with his alcoholic demons. He was too busy trying to, impress Terry Venables to play for England, where basically it was take it or leave it. He was just keeping his head above water. He could have been more supportive than the manager. Also, the most important thing as well is that, at Bolton, he's got Jason McAteer, John McGinley, players like that who basically say, yes, Bruce, free back, full Bruce. They do what they're told. You know what I mean? They all, and players like, they want to play for Brooklyn. Players like Phillips, all that kind of players. But you come to Arsenal, it's a different kettle of fish. The player, you have to. It's not a case of the players have to impress you. You've got to impress the players. Don't get him wrong. Signing Dennis Bergkamp was a masterstroke. Getting David Platin was good business as well. However, it was just, it was basically the minute he opened his mouth and the minute he compared some of the players of Bolton, it was a game over for me. But I do think he was done a dirty. But one thing about him, which was idiotic, I think he knew the idiotic in his part, but in hindsight, he was right. He never signed that contract. You know that? He never signed that contract because he must have known what was going on. So in that respect, he didn't really protect himself. But let's face it, the club were waiting for him to fail. And they knew that the perfect pawn was Ian Wright. They knew about Ian Wright's character. The players knew about Ian Wright's character. In my opinion, he wasn't as popular in the dressing room as it's made out. And that's factual. And it was just basically like an atom bomb ready to go off. All it was just a catalyst. All he had to do was open his mouth and try to exert his authority. And then, Ian Wright, like I said, handing a transfer request, trying to engineer a move to first West Ham with Harry Redknapp, and then he tried to engineer a move to his mate Glenn Hoddle at Chelsea. That's what Ian Wright was doing because he was falling out of Bruce Rioch. That's one of the reasons why the players turned against Ian Wright, because they knew that what he was doing in the background. And I'm sorry to all I supported Arsenal because of Ian Wright mob. Well, what I can say is that Arsenal Football Club was here a long, long time before Ian Wright. When I first went to Arsenal, Ian Wright was supporting Millwall or West Ham, whatever it is.
Playing non-league.
He was as far away from Arsenal as possible. And when it comes to role models in terms of Arsenal players, I had Raphael Meads, Brendan Batson, Viv Anderson, Rocky Rocas, obviously, but even before Rocky Rocas, I had Brendan Batson, Chris Huggy White, Paul Davis. I had those players before Ian Wright. So don't you dare come to me and say, well, yeah, surely. No. I had Darren Ronalds, Huggy White, Paul Davis, and Brendan Batson.
True. It's facts, man. It's true. I think Adams, that was Merson, mate. Merson got addicted to gambling.
Yeah.
It was. Anyway, just quickly, DJ, before I come to you.
The Bruce Rioch.
Colina was the best referee.
Yeah, top ref.
But anyway, we'll leave it. DJ, give me your opinion, mate, about.
Yeah, well, the thing is with Bruce Rioch, we knew all about the Ian Wright thing as well, but his management style was very military. He was very stern, and the players didn't get on with that. And at the time when he came into Arsenal, there was lots going on. We had the Adams thing, but Adams weren't the only one. There was a few players there that kind of weren't up with discipline and stuff like that. But one of the main reasons he also didn't last was he fell out with the board over a lot of funding issues. His strategic plan was different to what the board had in mind. So he fell out with the board over funds and the funding of Arsenal as well. And on top of that, Mr. Arsenal was David Dean at the time.
Yeah.
And David Dean was really Arsenal for Arsenal. That was it. And he fell out with him. There was a lot of issues over funding.
Do you want to know a little fact there about him, David Dean? Sorry.
Yeah,
he used to live in Avenel Road, where I was born.
Wicked. Not far at all. Yeah, brilliant.
He used to live at top Avenel Road, 3 or 4 doors down. Don't know exactly where.
Yeah.
From Gillespie Road, which is your home turf.
Yeah, so, Gillespie Road is where all my family was born. Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so he had a lot of problem with the funding. It was a key factor. And then he had a disagreement with David Dean.
He had wanted Wenger originally, though, David Dean, and the board wouldn't go for it, so he was waiting for him to fall. David Dean had touted Wenger beforehand.
They was never going to get on board with Bruce Rioch. But if you tie all of the funding part of it, the change of the strategic direction where Bruce Rioch wanted to take the club was different to where the board wanted to take the club. And then if you factor in the dressing room as well, he kind of didn't really. Ian Wright was just one of 2 or 3 players that he rubbed up the wrong way. He never really got the backing from the players. But it's true what Kenny said. When he got appointed, I was like, Bruce Rioch? Really? Is that the best we can do? Bruce Rioch? You know, I weren't knocking Bruce Rioch as a manager because of what he'd done at Bolton and all of that. But I was thinking, really? Is that the road we're going down? Because there was all these great managers around at the time. So yeah, if you mix in how he was with the board, his funding, upsetting Ian Wright, and Ian Wright then putting his kind of awe in, if you like, and then the dressing room and everything else, his managerial approach at the time when Arsenal players weren't really taking on board discipline and all of that. It was a car crash waiting to happen, to be honest, and it come to its natural end. However, he will always live in my memory because he signed one of the greatest players that I've ever seen at Arsenal. So
that was David Dean. That was David Dean.
But that was a lot to do with David Dean, I know. But Bruce was in charge at the time. So and I'll never forget that picture of Bruce Rioch with Dennis Bergkamp. You had this like absolute legend of world football in Bruce Rioch, you know what I mean? It was like a poor bloke.
Bruce Rioch was a bloody brilliant player. He was a good player.
Bruce Rioch was a good player. He was a hard player as well.
Him and Graham Souness were dirty bastards.
Oh yeah. He was solid as you like. He was solid as you like. But yeah.
Bruce Rioch and Graham Souness loved to use their fists.
Oh, mate, yeah, he was filth, Bruce Rioch. He was elbowing the back.
We're going to move on to the game. Paul says, Holland Jez, which end of Avenel Road? Mate, I was born in Gillespie Road, but I lived right opposite the entrance to the East Stand from the age of 18 months until I was 22.
Wow.
So I was there. So that's N5, mate. Brian says he tried to ring John Ginley, who was very good at Bolton. Topside Highbury. Rioch once missed a home match to go to France to try and sign Zidane. Didn't know this. Lizarazu from Bordeaux. I didn't know. Kenny, do you know that? I didn't know about it.
No, I didn't know. Bruce Rioch did a lot of good things, but you know, one of the comments, and I guess you want to segue away. Whoever put that comment in about Terry Neal and David Dean's relationship with the players, I shake his hands because that's exactly the same complaint that George Graham had about David Dean. Like they were going clubbing with him and his American wife, during the matches, and they were going behind managers' backs to get better contracts and to slag off Tony Neal and George Graham, some of these players. Anders Limpar was one of those players.
Yeah, Anders Limpar, man. I liked him as a player. I loved him as a player. Paul Nash, Jez, big up Jez, N5 original. No, Kenny's the original, mate. That's fact. He's the original. He's the original. I'm just behind me, and we got DJB as well.
No, you live a kick, like I said, a free kick away from the ground. I'll pass that on to you, mate. I lived there for 2 years. I lived there till the age of so from about 1972 to 1976. But yeah, you've been there for almost your life. No, you can have that one, Jez. That's yours.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had no control of my mum and dad moving out to the suburbs, if you like.
Yeah, I still classify your view, the people, the real ones.
Sorry. It's Paul Nash. I went to St Aloysius in Highgate Hill Archway.
Oh, fair. Yeah. Okay. No, I didn't go there. Solly Thomas says, does anyone have any insight on what the club did with any of the stuff from Highbury seats, signs? Do you know?
Auctioned them off, didn't they?
They did. I very nearly bought my own seat from the North.
Yeah, they auctioned them off.
And I tell you what happened there. So I tell you what happened. The auction was on a Saturday, right? Yeah. And I was on holiday and I missed it. I was going to buy my own seat. I was going to make it into a seat if I'd won it, right? And the wife has always said, I'm glad you didn't win it because I was going to make it into a seat to pot in the garden. And yeah, I missed out bad. I was gutted on that. Anyway, let's move it on. Tomorrow night, Shane O. Champions League. Olympiacos are visiting the Emirates. We know what a rock and roll crowd they bring with them. Noisy, belligerent. It's going to be a hell of a night. We can't deny that. You confident about it, mate? You thinking we can turn them over?
Yeah, I think so. I'm more interested in if he gives a few players a rest and throws in. We're all right in the Champions League. The other teams seem to open up. Last season, we had a couple of 3-0s. We had a 5-1. We had a 7-1. You know, I mean, we do get goals against the smaller teams. It's the bigger teams we struggle against because he overthinks it. But I'd like to see, you know, if Ben White's got anything in his legs to come in for Timber, I'd like to see Mascara get another chance to rectify. I don't think he was as bad as people were saying. He was quite bad against Newcastle. I think it was Gabriel letting them down more than anything. Than in the first half, Gabriel should have been the one to take control, and he kept the goal away. Not really Mascara. He kept the corner away. I'd like to see Mascara in because Saliba needs a rest. Arteta admitted before the game that Saliba was injured, and then he brought him on. I'd like to see Lewis Skelly for Calafiori. Now, I can't see him making 3 changes at the back. I can't even see him making 2 changes at the back, to be honest with you. I want Royce to get a rest, give Eze a start, get Odegaard a bit deeper like he was against Newcastle. I'd like to see Saka get a rest, put Wanyeri or something out there. I don't know what's happened there. He wasn't injured when against Newcastle. He didn't make the bench. But I'd like to see 3 or 4, possibly 5 changes. But I think 3-0. I think they're there for the taking. Yeah, they're the champions of Greece. Yeah, they're still top of the table this season. And yeah, they bring the crowd with them. But if we score early, I think it's done. If we don't score early and the crowd get a bit restless, maybe something will happen. But as DJB said the other night, it's more of a must-win than people would think because of the fixtures afterwards. So if we were to drop points and then you have like Bayern and Atletico and these clubs coming, it puts a lot more pressure on them because then you suddenly lose another one and hang on. But luckily, the Champions League now has a lot more recovery time than previous years. If you lose your first 2 or draw one back in the day, you had a lot less time to recover. Now you can recover, and even if you don't finish in the top 8, which can be quite devastating with the extra games and the tougher draw, but you know you do want to aim for top 8. But yeah, I think it'd be a very important game to win. I'd like to see a few goals. But yeah, I'm more interested in making sure that he rests because West Ham is not going to be easy at the weekend the way people think it's going to be. So I think Royce desperately needs a rest, and it will give a chance for Eze and Odegaard to play together. And then, you know, maybe someday he'll put Royce in the 6 and drop Zubamendi. But that's all down the road. But yeah, I think it should be a walk in the park. That's probably a bit of a stretch, but it should be a win. It should be a win for me.
Fair enough. Okay. I've got a question. After I go to DJB, sorry, Kenny, and then DJB, I'm going to come back to you, Shano, on a question. Right, I'm going to come back to you on this one. I've got to keep it in my head. Kenny, Ken, you'll be there tomorrow night. Olympiacos coming to the Emirates. All the rowdy lot, and we know what they can be like. The team can be a bit feisty as well. How are you feeling? You feeling confident, mate?
Yeah, I'm feeling confident because I think the teams are. Well, one thing we got, which we didn't have last season, is not only have we got a reasonable first 11, we got options off the bench, very strong options off the bench, and yeah, we are playing with a bit of confidence. And I'll tell you one thing: if Zubimendi does not turn up in a game like this, I am going to personally drag him off the pitch, put him, lock him in the dressing room, and then after he comes out of dressing room, I'm going to give him 6 of the best, because I'm thinking this is the stage what we bought you for, Zubimendi. We bought you for Europe to give us more control, because in the games last season against PSG and the games against Bayern Munich 2 seasons ago, it was the control in midfield and the balance in midfield which cost us. So I'm looking at Zubimendi to have a really big game. We score early, we can win about 2 or 3-0. But we have to play well. We have to, like I said, create some chances. Gyökeres, got to be patient, mate. Got to be patient. But when you do get your chances, no wait, taking a second touch, shoot on sight. Or because these are the games we bought you for as well in Europe as well. You need. I'm not saying Olympiacos is going to be easier, because it's going to be allegedly easier ties, but proved the doubt was wrong, Gyökeres.
Good point. I hear you. I mean, we know their crowd are pretty relentless.
Yeah,
and they can big up their team. DJB, you'll be at the game, I dare say.
Yep, I'll be there. I think we're going to win it. I mean, for me to turn around and say we won't win it would be a little bit kind of harsh, the way the team's confident at the moment. And as Kenny said, we have got a little bit more off the bench now. Zubimendi does need to show up. He needs to show up more than the Olympiacos game for me. He just needs to show up. You know what I mean? Because I've not seen it. Not yet. So he does need to show up. Olympiacos have not lost in their last 7 games, and they've bagged a few goals as well. One of the things they're good at getting the ball and hitting long balls and running onto them from deep as well. So we've got to watch that. It ain't going to be easy because it's Champions League, guys, and we've seen it before. Anything can happen in the Champions League. If we turn up in the first half an hour like we did against Bilbao, then Olympiacos could pick us off. And if they score first, puts a whole different perspective on the game. So we do need to get the early goal just to settle us down and get us into our rhythm. I think if we do score first, we'll probably go on to win 2 or 3. But I said 3-1 to Arsenal. I can see them scoring. Whether the damage will be done by the time they score, I don't know, but I think they'll score. But yeah, it's one of them games in the Champions League where, and we've seen it before. We've seen it before with Arsenal. We've seen it with other teams. They're the games you're expected to win. But they're also the games that if you take your eye off of it and you come into it and you're not fully on it, you can get caught. You can get caught out. And it's one of them games with Olympiacos where they can catch you out because they will generate a massive, massive atmosphere. And they'll be up for it, the players. Because they've got a shot to nothing. They're expected to lose. So if they come out of there with anything, it's a bonus for them. It's a bonus for them. Yeah, for me, we should win. But we can't go into it oh, we're Arsenal, we're this, we're going to steamroll them. I don't think we're going to steamroll them. And if we're not on it, it's one of them games where you could get found out very, very easily. They're not a terrible team, Olympiacos. They're half decent. So, but getting back to the player situation, I would like players rested, but I don't want to be in a situation having to go into the Bayern game and the Atleti game as we must get 3 points. We don't want to slip up and then go into the next games needing the 3 points, because that then becomes a pressure game. The Premiership games are pressured games. So let's go in tomorrow, get the job done, get the 3 points. For me, it's all about getting out of the league and not getting into those playoffs. He might tinker a little bit, put Skelly at left back, rest Calafiori. He'll probably start Rice, even though I'd like to see him not play 90 minutes, give him some rest. He'll start Zubimendi. And I'm with Kenny with Gyökeres. Gyökeres needs to start showing why he's at Arsenal. He needs to score. And if it ain't happening for him, like good strikers do, if they don't get the service, 9 out of 10 times they'll create something where they'll score or set up an assist. And at the moment, he ain't even doing that. He's not even assisting. So he needs to show up tomorrow big time.
Facts, mate. Mems Cream is saying, I see Spurs losing to the Fishermen, Bodo Glimt. Do you know, I didn't realise how far up in Norway that place is. It's in the fucking Arctic Circle.
Yep.
It's getting cold up there right now.
Talking of fish, Jez, I had a shock the other day. I went and got cod and chips. I couldn't believe it. Cod's large bit of cod shot up to like 13, 14 quid now.
Oh yeah.
That's without the chips. I'm like, you need to remortgage your house to get cod and chips for the family.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. What's going on?
Is it just for one person or how many people now?
Well, that was just for me. But every Christmas Eve, right, we have all of when I go over to my house with my ex-missus and all that, because we're all amicable and that, and all my kids are around there and everything else. Our tradition is Christmas Eve, and I'll buy fish and chips. I'm starting to save now.
You better start saving now, DJ.
Yeah. Like I said, Brexit, cost of living, high cost of living, mate. That's what it is. Food stuff gone up, mate. But I'll tell you one thing,
Kenny, I went to the local fish shop. It's a very good fish chip, right? And I said to the missus, I said, what do you fancy? She said, I have a large cod and medium chips. I said, yeah, all right, fair enough. I had a large place, and it was a big bit of place. In fairness, it was huge. And chips, 38 quid.
Oh,
that's about right, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
14 quid for a large bit of cod.
They've had to put the prices up. Remember, they had to close down because of COVID. So since COVID, and they've had to put the prices up. So that's a direct thing. But yeah, if you want to take away, the best thing to do is learn how to cook. And if you can cook, because you're getting knocked by takeaway.
Yeah, I feel sorry for the fish and chip owners, man.
It is.
Yeah.
I funny enough, I go.
We're going off topic, but
I go. Shut up. That's very quickly. I just said I was chatting to my mate John, who I go fishing on his boat with. He's my grandson's other granddad, right? And when we go fishing, all the fish we catch, majority of them, he takes and he sells them at market. And fair play, that's his life, that's his living. And I said to him yesterday, oi, when we go out next time, mate, I'm bringing a few home. And I'm popping them in the freezer. And he went, well, I've always said you can. And I said, well, I bloody well will be. I said, because I'm not having this no more. Anyway, let's move it on. Right. I've got a question for you, Kenny and DJ, because I've seen a lot of talk today from Mr. Shane the Gooner. Talks about a certain gentleman, Glenn Helder.
Oh my God, Glenn Helder.
Talk to me about
it. Well, he played. He made his debut in a game where Chris Cormier made his debut.
Yeah,
I think Johnny Hartson played the game as well. It's Nottingham Forest. and he looked really good. He was playing an inverted left winger, and he had loads of space, loads of pace, and then all of a sudden he just kind of disappeared. I mean,
he was signed a week before George Graham left, you see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
the week
he
before.
kind of went all Mark
February 95, 1-0 win
That's
against
right,
Forest.
February 95, a home game against Nottingham Forest. And here we go. With in terms of like Glenn, I thought, right, we've got a gem in our hands, because at the time, right, with Arsenal, one of the things I did like towards the end of George Graham's stay, so we didn't play with wingers, and we weren't playing like passing football. We all tend to be a bit of a long ball over the top for Ian Wright. So I was really excited to get him. After that, I was overwhelmed, underwhelmed. Nothing happened. Nothing.
He set up Bergkamp's first goal, Kenny. He set up Bergkamp's first goal.
He set up Bergkamp, but what happened to Glenn Elder? What happened to
him?
He
had gambling issues. He had massive gambling issues.
Yeah, he had and family issues as well. But he was pacey and he was skillful. I remember that game February against Nottingham Forest. Signed in the February, and I'm thinking, what is this? And I think it was George Graham's last signing.
Week before he went.
It was his last signing the week before he went. So that was his last ever signing for the club. That was in a quiz question ages ago, actually. But anyway, and I thought, we're like you, Kenny. I'm thinking this guy is like, unreal. Yeah, had a great touch, dribbling, pace, everything about him. Yeah, and he just disappeared.
He only got the one goal, like cracker against Middlesbrough. That was it.
Yeah, he had the goal against Middlesbrough and that. But he set up Dennis, and and then years later he's getting pelters off of some Irish guy on X. I mean,
it wasn't pelters. It wasn't pelters, man. No, what happened was someone came to me on X on a comment on a post I made that had nothing to do with him, and just said, "Did you have a guy called? I think his name was Helder?" And I said, "Yeah, Glenn Helder. He was shit, right?" And then Glenn Helder replied, going, "Yeah, look, I wasn't very professional. I'm really sorry." And I felt terrible, man.
Oh my God, no way.
Yeah, he replied to me saying, "Look, I wasn't very professional. I could have done a bit better." And I went, "Oh my God, Glenn." I said, "But I got the truth," and I told him the truth. I had his name on the back of my kit because, like you, I was 13, 14 when he signed, and we didn't have any flair players really. We had Ian Wright, but no, we had Merson. But that sort of foreign flair. So to strike that when he made that debut, I thought, wow, look at the speed of him. And I went out and got Helder on the back of my jersey. And then, and then he faded to nothing. But yeah, he replied, and I felt absolutely terrible. I really did. I felt like a piece of shit.
I'll be honest with you, I won't lie. I never thought much of him personally.
No, he wasn't great. He said it himself in the thing. He said, "No, I wasn't in the right place."
I always thought he was a bit ridiculous. He always reminded me of what's his name? I forgot his name. Peter Marinello. Great promise. Never mind.
Neutral's best.
Yeah, exactly. The Scottish George best. Never happened, man. VTOC says, "Cheers. I don't know how people talk up to you. You've had a business. Most of these people don't even achieve half what you've achieved. In college, I see so many unserious people, my generation, man." Well, that's the modern world, my friend. That is the modern world. But I've got, it is. That's the world we live in now.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple of questions.
Unfortunately.
Just before that, we were talking about players that came in and burst onto the scene and then faded. Do you remember your man Mirandinha that scored that solo goal for Newcastle, the Brazilian lad? In the 80s? And he scored a wonder goal. About 86. He scored an absolute wonder goal. Beating a lot of players.
For England. Do you remember when? I remember it. England played Brazil, and England went 1-0 up through Gary Lineker, and straight from the kickoff, Mirandinha equalised for Brazil, and Newcastle signed him on the back of that.
But he scored a cracker for them then as well, didn't he? It might have been his debut or second game. He beat a load of players and then just faded to absolutely nothing. Yeah, sorry, for some reason, Helder always reminded me
against Leeds, was it? Was that one against Leeds? Was it? Newcastle?
Might have been against Leeds, but I know he beat a load of players and everybody thought, "Oh my God, this guy is the new Pele."
Wow, what was this? What is this guy?
And then he just faded. I remember it. Yeah. Sorry, Jez.
Glenn Elder's
fine, mate.
One-hit wonders, wasn't it? It was like the top of the box.
You guys,
one-hit wonders.
It was the whole exotic thing, though, wasn't it? Getting a foreign player, it wasn't really We didn't really have. You might have one or two. We had Limpar, and then we got Helder. So you just thought, well, these guys are going to be brilliant. And then he looked really good, and then he faded. But yeah, when he replied to me, I just felt terrible. But yeah.
Well, there's a question here. This I thought worth starring. Mems Cream is saying, Jez, do you think Saliba made a mistake signing a new deal if manager doesn't bring success to the club?
Win-win. It's win-win for everyone.
Win-win for him, yeah.
It's win-win.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
If we don't win, then he's made a mistake. But if he's...
No, well, you see, if we don't win, DJ, he gets a new manager.
Yeah, but
it's win-win for him as well.
But I did say, one of the things I did say that when they sat Saliba down is... If you're in charge, if you're the agent of these young players that are absolute megastars, one of the questions that you're going to ask is, what's the future of the current manager? That question would have been asked
100%.
because he needs to know if he's signing a 5-year deal, he needs to know what is plan B and how long will it be. So the questions would have been asked for Saliba. Saliba's got all this information before he even signs. It has to. You can't just go in and say, yeah, Arteta's going to be here for another 5 years, blah, blah, blah. Well, no, because that's unrealistic. So that would have definitely been asked. And they would have said to him, this manager's probably got the rest of this season, may have the beginning of the next season, depending on how it goes. And then we will probably look for a new manager. So Saliba would have had all that in place before he signs.
That's the thing, though, DJ.
It is a win-win for him.
Yeah, because the top Gooners are going nuts now on X. Oh, look, you see, he did an interview and he said, oh, Arteta's this great manager and blah, blah. I'm saying to them, what do you think he's going to say? That's a template interview. He's not going to go, yeah, well, I love the club, but the manager's a bit of a dick. Like, it's not going to happen. No, like, he's going to say the template answer. And he definitely, I was saying it from the start, he is getting reassurances. Like me and DJB were talking about this. He said, right, well, if we don't win anything this season, will he? Well, yeah, they mightn't say it straight out, but they'll definitely let him know.
They'll say there'll be changes or something. We have got plans.
5 years of his career, the peak 5 years of his career. And another thing that needs to be remembered is there was no official Madrid bid. People are acting like he turned them down. There was no official bid. He didn't turn them down. He's getting 300k a week. He's playing in a team that protects the back four with a big line of four fridges in front of him. Every time we lock up, we go to 4-4-2. He's going to get records with clean sheets and stuff like that. And he's thinking, well, I'm either going to win the league or the Champions League, or I'll get another manager. Simple as that. And Arsenal are thinking, well, even if you want to leave in 2 years, we'll get a load of money for you. You know what I mean? So this idea that, he's going to be here 5 years from now, a lot can change in that time, man. A lot can change in that time.
That's the thing. The other day, clubs protect themselves, don't they? By getting players on, before the maximum I remember was about 3 to 4 years, wasn't it? Now we're seeing 5 to 6 years and even 7. Clubs have to protect themselves. You can't have what Liverpool had with Trent, Alexander-Arnold, and over Van Dijk when they're not protecting themselves. Look what happened with Sanchez and Ozil. We didn't protect ourselves, and we ended up losing one and giving one a King's ransom. Who, let's face it, didn't deliver after that. Aubameyang didn't deliver after getting a big contract. But at the end of the day, he would have. Saka's the next one. They would initially. They will ask for assurances on whether Arteta's the right man. But another thing as well. Shane made a fantastic point. Let's remember Roy Keane at Man United. Man United captain Alex Ferguson was his manager. Roy Keane's biography after Saipan, when he was still a Man United captain. After Saipan, when he had the autobiography of Eamon Dunphy, he could only say good things about Sir Alex Ferguson.
True.
After he got sacked and he was fired, 9 years down the line, oh my God, the difference in his second autobiography. I can't remember what good thing he said about Sir Alex Ferguson.
He didn't say anything good about him.
Nothing. No, say anything good about him.
Yeah, Mims is saying, Jez, are you not worried about Gyökeres' form recently? Still no goals. He's really struggling with goals. He needs to put in a man of the match performance and show his worth the amount you paid for him. Well, I think there's two factors to this. and I'm going to get Shane, then Kenny, and then DJB on this one. First of all, he's a good player. He's got to settle in, and right now he's not getting the supply that he needs. He did it to a point against Newcastle because we had Eze there, possibly playing in the right position, and he was getting service, but he's got to settle into the team. Anyway, guys, I'll leave it down to you to answer that one.
Yeah, the thing with Gyökeres is, I've been saying for a while now, I want him to have 2 or 3 games in a row where he gets 3 or 4 chances, and I don't really care if he misses them once he's getting 3 or 4 good chances, because then the goals will come if he keeps getting chances. The chances against Newcastle, I was talking to DJB about this the other night. He got the one where Timber came inside and flicked it into him, and he spun the defender quite well, took a snapshot, it deflected off the defender, went over. The second half, he got a better chance. Eze flicked him through with the outside of his foot, and he took an extra touch, and then he slipped and put it over the bar. Martinelli was coming in behind him. And as I was saying to DJ, if the first one goes in, that second chance, he just takes a touch and smacks it. You know, it's a confidence thing as well. You see it with forwards when they're overthinking it. But if you starve a goal scorer like him, you know, like an Alan Smith or someone like that, if you starve them of service, they start to take that extra touch and they start to overthink it. And, you know, it's like any sport, you know, like pool, darts, anything like that, where it's all in rhythm. You know, if you're second guessing yourself, you take that extra swing or you take that extra whatever it may be. So the only issue or worry I have is that a lot of people are saying, yeah, finally Arteta's learned. He's got Eze in the middle. Now he's going to start setting up Gyökeres. If Odegaard's fully fit for that Newcastle game, Eze's not in the centre. He's not in the midfield. If Odegaard's fit for that game, he's not. And I don't even think he would have been out the wing. I think it still would have been Trossard, right? He might have come off the bench. So this thing of now we're fixed, done, great. When those 3 are fit, they're starting, because for me, I'm with DJ, and he said it for a long time. I've said it for a long time. Odegaard, drop him back further like he was against Newcastle. He's fine there. It's the final ball with him that's the problem. Eze's got the final ball. He's got the balls. He's got that flair about him. Play Odegaard in the 8, if you will. Eze slightly more forward, and put Rice in the 6, because as soon as Rice went into the 6 against Newcastle, he changed the game. Completely changed the game. Now you can rotate Zubimendi in for games like tomorrow night. That's where he's at his best. Lots of space on the ball. He can pop it about. He's not going to get high pressed. You can rotate it. This is what he should be doing. But I know I'm going a bit off point here, but the point is that I'm trying to get to is that with Gyökeres, I don't know if he's going to get settled, as in have that player supplying him all the time, because if Haaland's getting supplied by Rice, Odegaard, and Zubimendi, his numbers go right down as well. They go right down. You know what I mean? But that's just the way it is. His numbers go down because he's only getting half chances. And my missus, mad Arsenal fan. She was a top Gooner up till about 6 months ago, but she can't even look at Arteta now. But when Haaland scored that goal against us, she turned to me and said, I haven't seen Gyökeres have a chance like that yet. And I said, no, he hasn't. He hasn't been played in like that yet, where he's just got to take a touch, open up his body and put it home. He hasn't had one. It's all sort of back to goal, trying to spin with a crowded box. So if he was at City, he'd be getting goals. So I do think the goals will come, but not this season. I don't feel under this manager that me and DJ and a few of us said it on the roundabout when they were going around asking us how many he'd get, and we all said about 15. If he has a good season, he get about 15. And my mind hasn't changed on that. He might get a hat-trick against a Burnley at home or something like that. That's his bread and butter. But I feel for him. I do feel for him, because he just looks, he's got that 1,000-yard stare on him. He's just, what am I doing here? I'm running around like a headless chicken. All I'm doing is tracking back. All I'm doing is closing down. And I hope that he gets more chances. I really do. I don't, to answer the question though, I don't think Gyökeres is the problem. I really don't. I think he's a very good striker. I don't think he's, Alan Shearer class or anything. I think he's a very good striker, but if he's not getting the service, it's just impossible for him. If you don't have the tools, how can you do the job? You know what I mean? So I have a lot of sympathy for him, an awful lot of sympathy for him. And wait till West Ham, it'll be Odegaard, Rice, and Zubimendi again, and Eze out the wing, and he'll just be starved again. So yeah, I feel for him. I really do.
Well, we know if Odegaard's fit, he'll start tomorrow night. We know that's given. Kenny Ken, what do you think, mate? Do you think? I mean, I don't think it's a problem. I think it's just he's not getting the supply.
I think the problem, you know what I said on previous shows, the thing with Gyökeres is when you think about the levels of strikers, Kane, Mbappe, Obviously, Lewandowski, although he's coming toward the end of his career, those are players, right, that they will thrive on service, but they don't actually need it. They can create something out of nothing because they're good footballers. You know, like Harry Kane, you know, opens up his body, shoots from 30 yards, goal, bang, that's one in the net. He's got all the attributes, header, you know, he can volley, he can shoot with his left foot, but he always makes space to put the ball in the racket. Mbappe is just like a naturally gifted footballer. And Haaland is another. I forgot Haaland as well. He's one who just will find a way to goal and will create, you know, score goals. Gyökeres, what I've seen this season, he definitely needs service. He's not that kind of player. I'm not digging him out. Technically, he's a mess. I think you'll agree with me. He's a mess technically. A bit like Mateta, a mess technically, but
he's got the best technically.
Effective. But I think with Mateta, he's the sort of player that what he's got over Gyökeres, he hasn't got Gyökeres' goal record in Portugal, but what he's got to go Gyökeres, he can try and find something out of nothing and get his open up his body and can score goals. Although he really thrives on service, Gyökeres actually needs service. He actually needs service. But another thing with Gyökeres as well, Gyökeres, he reminds me a bit of Stan Collymore. Remember when Stan Collymore used to get the ball from like halfway line and run?
Yeah.
And then he'll open his body up. Well, you see the goals he was scoring for Lisbon last year? There's quite a few of the goals where he was getting the ball from deep, went bang, run. It's not going to happen at Arsenal, is it? So, in essence, we're not playing to his strengths. He's not playing to his strengths because if he tries to get the ball from deep, he's running to Odegaard's position and Zubimendi's position. So, really and truly, when he's at Arsenal, he's got to play within our structure. And that's one of the reasons why I was worried about getting him in, is because I don't think that the wheels will be moved tactically to suit him and suit his strengths. However, was he bought for Burnley at home, for West Ham at home, for the bottom 10 sides at home where he can fill his boots? So those games which were draws last season are now going to be wins, and that will prepare us for the title. Sometimes that's his niche. It's insulting to call these teams easy opposition, but you get my drift. The goals Leeds scored a couple against Leeds, just come up from the Championship. Nottingham Forest managed by, let's face it, how do I say it without trying to be nice, a manager that makes up as he goes along tactically. Against teams that are tactically on it, he struggled.
True. Yeah, very true. DJB, give me your view on this this striker.
I'm trying to work out what Gyökeres actually is for Arsenal at the moment, because if we play defensively, we've got no midfield. We've got no midfield creativity. And I've said this before, you can have defensive midfield players, but 9 out of 10 times the top teams will always have someone that will pick that pass out, similar to that sort of pass that you saw Odegaard use on one occasion against Skelly that everyone's gassing up about, which was a brilliant pass. I'm not knocking it. But I think with Gyökeres, I'm not sure whether we're using him as a striker to hold the ball up and bring the midfield players into play. I'm not sure if we're using him to run the lines and get beyond defenders. I'm not sure we're using him as a target man. I don't think he knows his actual role yet within this team. I see Gyökeres making lots of runs and running into the channels and trying to make himself available and closing down defenders and closing down like the goalkeeper and stuff. So his work rate is there, but I'm not sure about what his actual role is. And I still think we're trying to figure that out.
It is confusing, isn't it?
I'm still trying to think where we're trying to figure that out. So, you know what I mean? And this is where it comes down to like the manager, because, and I know it's hard to imagine, but I think they're just kind of confused with one another because he's not getting those clean through balls. He's not getting the open opportunities, balls to run onto. So, okay, we're not using him for that. Well, let's use him as a target man in the box. Let's get crosses in. Let's see what it's like in the air. Let's see where he can head the ball. Let's see if he's a danger in the air on crosses. And I'm not even seeing that. So at the moment with Gyökeres, I'm not saying that Gyökeres is a bad player. I don't think he's everyone's striker that you think he is. And I'm not going to be the bad of all evil here. He has scored goals in Portugal and he is a prolific goal scorer. But I don't think he's in the mould of Haaland, Shearer, Ian Wright, Andy Cole, you know what I mean, Dwight York, Teddy Sheringham.
He doesn't have the variety, DJB, does he? He has one or two things he can do really well, and the rest he's not very good at all.
So, so I think we're overhyping him because he was the best that was out there.
Using him as a target man, though, DJ. I mean, that's just pointless, isn't it? It's the point of signing him as a target man when he's. But that's craziness. Like it's makes
using
no
him
sense
as using him, but this is what I'm saying, Shane. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what his role is because all I see at the moment is a striker that just runs around, that literally just runs around. That's all he does. He doesn't. He's hardly had a shot at goal. He scored 3 goals in 6 games, but 1 was from the penalty spot. So he's actually scored 2 in open play.
Yeah.
He did try and score a couple of times by his head against Newcastle.
Yeah. I mean, but
he did try the old.
I think he will come good. I think he will come good. And if he does against, as Kenny says, the likes of Burnley at home, hopefully Saturday against West Ham, he'll finish half a chance or he'll get onto something. But I've not made my mind up about him at the moment, Jez.
If you got Glasner in, Gyökeres would slap within about 2 weeks.
Oh, 100%.
He'd have Eze feed him. He'd have Eze. Your job is to feed him.
I just think with this system that we play and the way Arsenal plays and the way this manager sets up, I just don't think we're going to see. I just don't think we're going to see like the Gyökeres that we all want to see. I think we're just going to see.
I don't think he's settled in yet, and we all know. I mean, look, let's be fair, right? When Henri came to the team, he wasn't.
Oh yeah.
It took him a while to settle.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure
he was in and out of the team, though. He was in and out of the team.
A far better manager.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure he's in a different position, and then he kicked on.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will, and I hope he will. And I'm not saying he's a bad player. It's just that me looking at him, I'm trying to work out where his actual role is. Are we playing him down the centre and just having him there?
Yeah, I get that.
Are we playing him as a target man? Are we going to get crosses into him? Is he a link-up sort of striker where he links up play and brings in the wingers and the defence?
He's never been either.
He's still getting nothing from the left-hand side.
Yeah,
he's not getting anything from Trossard consistently. He ain't getting nothing from Martinelli consistency. So we've got nothing on the left. Saka's finding it hard to create space and get crosses in because he's getting heavily marked. Yeah. So we've got to find another way of getting Gyökeres into the game. And the only way we can do that is from a central midfield position. Zubimendi hasn't shown much creativity. No. Rice is not creative. So Eze's creative and Odegaard's creative. So let's put Odegaard in the 8, Eze in the 10, and we'll see what Gyökeres can do from there.
Fact. That's a fair point. Right, before we wrap it up, Kenny, got West Ham at home, mate. New manager bounce. You know,
you saw that yesterday, didn't you, Chase?
Yeah.
Not too far. I watched it. I was obviously the first half. I was flicking through, obviously, because we're on a podcast with Lee, and they actually started off pretty well. Somerville was brilliant, and then they conceded a goal from Keane. That's the West Ham against Everton, and then the second half, I got distracted. But when I came back, West Ham were battering them.
They looked dangerous. Somerville, did you see Somerville?
Yeah, Somerville. Yeah, he was a man of match.
I think that was a mistake bringing him off.
Yeah, Yeah, but I think they were trying to get the point in it because you know what's happening is that, and they got the point. Everton ran out of ideas, but despite the fact Nuno's got the manager bad, the fact is there's still turmoil at the club. I look at their bench. There's nothing there.
No.
We should win comfortably.
We should win. Their
but
defense.
They were floating relegation last season. They could hardly get a point. They come one cross out of nowhere. Bowen scores a goal. Kudos has a game of his life, and they shut up shop.
Yeah, but
so
Kenny,
never say never, but this is why we've got Gyökeres, isn't it? Gyökeres,
yeah, but that's why they got Bowen, though. That's why they got Bowen. See the difference?
Yeah,
people say
Gyökeres,
Bowen's a baller.
Yeah, he's baller, but isn't Gyökeres built for low block teams? You know, where teams who basically, because people like Christian have always said we create so many chances, we haven't got a striker to put it away. And I think where he's coming from is that against teams like West Ham, we create chances, but Havertz can't put a chance away. Well, the same sort of logic was state that from what we've seen in this season, Gyökeres, dare I say it, is the let's just say, how do I say it, he's a big bad wolf when it comes to like little maidens who can't defend themselves. So we need to be a big bad wolf on Saturday, because I still think that West Ham, they're a very disjointed team, and I think we will exploit them better because some of their better players have been let go and their leaders have gone. So you never know. They'll give it their all, but if we score early, it could be an avalanche.
That's the key, though, Kenny, isn't it? If we don't score early and the crowd start to get a bit, you know what I mean? Because the whole mood. This is it, and I don't want to take over, but this is my problem with Arteta, and he tripped himself up with it so often. We get a result like that against Newcastle, a last-minute winner, and he instead of playing it down, he plays it up. Feelings, this is what it's all about. It's all about the emotions and the feelings of feels. And then they go into the next game thinking that they're world beaters, and after half an hour it doesn't go to script, and we let one in, and then they don't know how to react. Like, you look at the City result, we went out of the cup, then we drew 3 in a row, and then same with the Madrid stuff, we went and drew. So he needs, like, he was in that press conference, me and DJB arena, not once did he say, it's just one win, we need to, you know what I mean? He kept bigging it up, and it's all feelings and emotions.
We've been doing that.
We do that like years ago. You're the best team in the world, and no.
We did a lot of that last season, didn't we, Shane? Where we get one great result,
and he bigs it up, and then we go into the next one and slip up.
But when we smash teams, I don't know what it was like for you guys, but what it was teams stupidly tried to play football against us. We just went into the empty spaces and just took every chance that came along.
Yeah.
And then teams who weren't so stupid, they were difficult to break down. But I think what teams are finding out now is that because we've got the options now that we didn't have last season, that if you do have the low block and with like I said, injury time being 6 or 7 minutes, that's when I found that teams that sit on their line, like Burnley did against Liverpool, Newcastle were doing against us, that's dangerous as well, because what these teams tend to do, take off your strikers, take off your attackers, take off the counter-attack option, sit on your line, that's dangerous as well. So maybe
very dangerous
against low blocks, if it is 90th minute and they're sitting in their line, that could be our advantage as well.
True, very true. Just a couple of comments, interesting. Mems is saying the ICF boys will be at the Emirates. There's going to be crowds. No, mate, you don't.
No, they
don't happen no more.
They're a bit older now. They're a little bit old now. But no, I always think these are the sort of games. Sorry,
they don't happen at grounds now.
It's too cameras and losing your season ticket and all that.
They're all grandfathers now.
Yeah, they're all granddads. And they all live round here, where I live.
Yeah.
This is my derby Saturday. This and Man United are the 2 biggest games of my season.
You see them now, mate.
You forgot Tottenham.
Walking sticks and crutches and the old Zimmer frames. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Some of them still look after themselves. There's some big lads still around here.
The sad thing is none of them go no more. A lot of them won't go because
they don't. They don't.
Yeah.
Getting onto the game on Saturday, Jez, I just want to say I
They
just
might
want
be
to
there. They, you know what I mean? Nobody's interested in that shit anymore. So anyway, let's move it on. Right, Shano, give me your prediction. Arsenal, West Ham. What's it going to be?
I think we'll win. I think we'll win. I think we should win. I'm quite confident. I'm with Kenny. If we score early, it's over. We could smash them. We could easily smash them if we score early. But if we haven't scored in the first half hour, then ask me again. Ask me again if we haven't scored in the first half hour. Nuno is the type of manager that has Arteta's number for me. Kenny's right as well with the added extra time and the options we have now. Great, but like everybody was saying about Liverpool, the last minute goals aren't sustainable. I mean, that's what the Arsenal fans were saying. It's not sustainable. Now that we're getting them, it's that's what winners do. That's what championship teams do, or our champions do. So, I'd be more. Fulham away is the one where I'm really worried. I'm really worried for Fulham away. I think that's just tough. But West Ham, I'll go 3-1 Arsenal.
Yeah, 3-1. Okay. Kenny Ken, you'll be there shouting, giving it all the large. What do you reckon it's going to be, mate? Result, score.
You know what? I'm gonna be over optimistic and say 4-0. But I said that last year. Look what happened. Well, I'm going to go 4-0. I do understand. If West Ham had the players they had 2 years ago, I would have thought, yeah, it's going to be our game. Mind you, if Souček is back and he gives them a bit of bite at midfield, then it would be a bit closer. So if Souček is playing and he's back for his suspension, I'm going to say, yeah, going to probably say
Bowen's hitting a bit of form as well. He likes playing us.
Yeah, but it depends on the makeup of the side. Depends on the makeup of the side. One thing is their defenders have got no pace whatsoever.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Okay. DJB, and I'll give you my prediction.
I'm gonna go 2-0 Arsenal. It's going to be a hard fought 2-0. And West Ham will have moments in that game because they always do against Arsenal and Spurs. It's their FA Cup final. Trust me. They like to come to the Emirates. They like to go to Tottenham. When you got Bowen in the team and Paqueta that can just do something out of nothing, they're always dangerous. And if they start with Somerville, who's got a lot of pace on the left-hand side, we saw what Doku done to Timber. There will be West Ham will have moments, trust me. And it depends what team he picks. It all depends on Mikel Arteta. This is what I'm trying to say now. It's not about the players now. It's all down to the manager. If the manager goes cautious and wants to sort of, play it cautiously and we get off to a slow start, that will suit West Ham. So we need to be positive. We need to go out on the front foot. And I keep saying it, we don't need two defensive midfield players at the Emirates. No. You just don't need them. Not against West Ham. You just don't need them. Just play with Rice in the 6. That's if he shows up, because he hasn't shown up at the Emirates against West Ham yet. Put Rice in the 6. Start with Odegaard in the 8. Start with Eze in the 10. It's a toss-up who plays on the left, Trossard or Martinelli. They're both not good enough. But, yeah, let's start on the positive. If we don't, and it's 0-0 after about 20 minutes, then it could be a long afternoon.
This is what I've been... Sorry to disturb you. I'm sorry for hijacking your show, but this is very relevant to all of us, especially you, Jez. Pete Hayward, when Arteta wins, you'll be cancelled and look idiotic. This is what he sent me on Twitter. Will Lee have the balls to admit he was wrong? I highly doubt it. Jez would likely never show his face again. I believe you, as out of the 3 negative fans, you're the most switched on, which is really nice, because last time he said I looked like a crackhead and that I wouldn't be able to punch myself out of paper bags. So he's been a bit nice this time.
Well done, Pete. Good old Pete. Well
he's mentally deluded, mate. He's absolutely mentally deluded, that guy. But fair play, Pete. If you fancy it, mate, I'll come and see you. I'll come and talk to you. I'll buy you a pint. You know what I mean? If you fancy meeting up, Not a problem. I ain't got a problem with it, my friend. It's like the guy that said to me on my comments I said last night on Kenny Lee's, wasn't it? Jez, jump on whatever it is, whilst you can. I replied to him. I said, "Well, what are you gonna do? Ban me from fucking Islington?" You know what I mean? I mean, these people, seriously, what are they on? Anyway, we're going to wrap it up. My prediction, gentlemen, right? I am going 3-1 Arsenal. Right, I'm going 3-1 to the Arsenal. As you gents have just said, it's all down to what old Arteta does. You know, we know how he can be a bit of a prick and fuck it all up and get it all totally wrong. And we walk out of there again on after the game totally flat and deflated.
Oh, I can't have them beating us. No.
Nah, we can't. Not again. Not again.
Not again.
But Shano, mate, shout out your channel. Before you do, I'm just going to say, people, if you've got the time in the morning, go and watch the Irish Breakfast Show. I've watched it now 6 days on the bounce, and it's fucking legend. I love it.
Big up, Jez, man. Your support is always appreciated. Big up to Kenny, of course, and DJB, and thanks for having me on. And big up to the wonderful chat. Yeah, I'll be full Irish breakfast every morning, 10:30. I think YouTube are acting the maggot at the moment with notifications or something like that. That people are saying that they're not ringing. So make sure that you set your alarms for 10:30 for the full Irish. And then I'll be in and around streams. I'm not doing the debate streams anymore. I'm not bothered with them. I'll do them at the end of the season. I'm not bothered going on and debating with the other side of our fan base anymore. I'm done with that. I'll go on streams, panels with the likes of like this panel, and I'll go on with Lee when I'm just not debating with the others. But I'll be doing that stuff on my own channel. I have a new show which I'll be doing from Saturday week, which will be a nighttime show with a panel where we'll talk about not current events in football. We'll just have one subject like, should we scrap VAR 1 week? And then, you know, what rules would you change and favorite World Cup and stuff like that. And then we'll just talk about that for an hour or so. So it's just not current events and more just one topic that we'll get into. Might be linked to current events. Maybe if there's a lot of VAR decisions, we'll talk about VAR or something along those lines. But I'm looking forward to that as well. That's in the making at the moment. So lots of stuff coming up and lots of stuff in the pipeline. So big up to everybody, man.
No, fair play, man. Fair play to you. Yeah. Great content you put out. I thoroughly enjoy watching it, and it's brilliant. Kenny Kent on Insta, my friend. Shout it out, my bro. Shout it out.
Instagram at Kenny Kent 1972. Obviously, I'm going to be at the game today. Obviously, I'm going to do some, pre-match videos, walking to the ground, and then the pre-match video at the end at full time. And I'm looking forward to the game. I still get that excitement. Of going to the match in terms of match day, but I get exactly where you come from, Jez, in terms of it being a big schlep for you, from where you come from as well. And you think about it, it's the enjoyment as well, the money involved, but you have to enjoy it as well. So I get it, but I'm still obsessive about the game. But I really would like to see a trophy. But I think what it is with me is that because I grew up around the area, I still sort of want Arsenal. Are the only link to my childhood. Obviously, I've got loads of links to my childhood, but Arsenal, and unfortunately, sorry to offend anyone, the Labour Party has been a very big part of my life since I was a kid. But obviously, Arsenal means more than anything else.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to say, actually, I'm not going to say what game it is, but very close to Christmas, I am coming to the Emirates, right? And I'm meeting up, and I'll meet up with you, Kenny and DJ.
Yeah.
Not certain what game it is yet, but I think I'm pretty certain. But I can't say right now. But I'm going to be meeting up. I always have this Christmas do, right? I'll meet up with a load of old muckers.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see you, mate.
Can't wait to see you, Jez. No, that'd be good. That'd be really good, man. That'd be really.
I've got to be careful. Cause I might get banned from Islington. I might get banned, so I might not be.
No, you'd be all right, man. You'd be all right.
I always have this.
Rule to a right-hander anyway.
Yeah, it's fucking bollocks, mate. I ain't worried about any of them. But I might be meeting. Well, we are having a big Christmas do in Islington this year, and so 10 of us, maybe 12, might be turning up at the Emirates for just a day out and
Lovely.
and everything like that. And so I'll rock it up, and I'll meet up with Kenny and DJB. And Dan, I'll probably say meet up with Dan Potts. And all that.
Dan will be there. We'll see Dan tomorrow.
We'll have a giggle. And I think I know the game it's going to be, but I'll need to confirm a couple of other people.
I'll put my house on it. It won't be a Wednesday game. It's got to be a Saturday game. So I think Wednesday game. Saturday game. Right, let's look at the fixture.
Just want to say to Paul Nash, make sure DJB puts his hand in his pocket. Well, if he wants cod and chips, I won't be. Not at them prices.
No. You need a second mortgage option.
No, but big up, Jez. That'd be cool, man. That'd be good. Be good. It'd
be nice to revisit. I mean, I hate the Emirates, but it's only because I'm going to be in London, up in Islington anyway.
Yeah.
And a few of the boys said, "Come on, why don't we go to a game? Why don't we go?" And I'm like, right, if we can get tickets, that'd be bang on.
I'm sure your mates be able to sort out tickets for you.
Yeah, no, they will.
I've got the game. I know the game Jez is going to. It's going to bloody hell. You chose a cracker, haven't you? Wolves at home.
Yeah, that's the one.
Wolves at home. You chose the right cracker there, haven't you?
Gyökeres hat trick.
Yeah, Wolves at home.
We don't know.
I knew Kenny would work it out. I knew he'd fucking
come on. Yeah, because your reason right, it makes perfect
we've got
sense.
Brighton on the 27th, haven't we, Kenny?
Yeah.
I like them games.
Yeah, that's it.
Because Boxing Day, you can chill out all day and spend it with the family.
You know my views. We can have a show about my views on Christmas football, but we got lives to live. But I'll say one thing though, Jez. It makes perfect sense because the first week in December up until like the third week of December is office party times around Christmas, especially around London.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so it makes perfect sense around that time that everyone's putting money into the coffers to have a Christmas party, go to a lunch somewhere around London, and then go out together. And the bloke who doesn't pull will be still the bloke who doesn't pull.
Yeah, I'm fucking. I'm not into that. Fucking hell.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
I know we've all been there.
We've all when we sing or gone to New Year's Trafalgar Square to get our kiss of the year, or only kiss of the year. We've all done it.
Oh, we've all done that, mate. We've all done that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it actually because it'd be. I ain't been to the Emirates since 2016.
No, it'd be nice to bump into you. It'd be nice to meet you, Jez. It'd be lovely to meet
you. We have a few large.
I'm going to have a trip over to Ireland, get some. Me and Shane's going to team up one day, perhaps in the spring or summer. And we'll go retro kit. We're going to go retro kit shopping.
What I'm going to say, right? Which game are we watching? We got Bodo Glimt, Tottenham. We got Benfica, Chelsea, Benfica,
Liverpool,
Galatasaray, Liverpool. Now we are going to. I think we're all going to be watching a game at Stamford Bridge because of Jose, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, yeah.
Of course, absolutely. Of course it is. Anyway, gentlemen, we're going to wrap
big up, my friend.
Great show tonight, and thanks for joining. As always, great chat. As always, great chat. Get Shano, get DJB over the 2K, please. Soon.
Get them over 2K, people.
Got to get them there. They're not far away,
I'm there now. I've just got to get the numbers up again.
Yeah. I mean, it's a weird thing at the moment, mate. The views,
it's a bit.
The views right now, right down.
It's hard.
It's everywhere. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I think it's YouTube doing their usual shit, like the housekeeping and everything like that. And they like to play the games with us, don't they? And anyway, Lightfee says,
can I just say something? Any of my chat that comes in, don't forget the mingle will be going ahead tomorrow, but it will be on quite late. So have a few hours sleep. Have an hour's because I'm getting back from the Emirates, so I won't be around till late, 11:40. It's going to be a late one, but it will go ahead for an hour. Yeah,
it's 8 o'clock kickoff, isn't it? So that means fan cams tomorrow night will be about 1 a.m, Kenny.
You'll be lucky, 2 or 3.
Oh, right, yeah, yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Mate, I fucked that off the other night. I won't lie. You know what I mean? When was it? Sunday night. I just said to Lee,
I know what you mean.
I can't hang about, mate. I've got to go. I can't. I'm not sitting here for 3 fucking hours. You know what I mean? I can't be doing with it. And yeah. Anyway, when people, we're out of it.
Big up, guys. Bless.
Legends, absolute real ones. Shano, Kenny Ken, DJB. You don't get any better this on YouTube, man. I'm telling you. They're the real fucking legends. They're the knowledgeable ones. They teach me every single time. And oh, by the way, Kelly, quiz. Yes. People are asking for the quiz.
Christmas.
When's the quiz?
So we're going to do it in the international break, I think.
Well, the international break's next week.
Yeah, so that's when it's going to be then.
Looking forward to it.
Is it next week, the international break?
Yeah, because after because remember
West Ham the last game then.
Yeah, West Ham the last game. Then 2 weeks after West Ham, it's hey DJB. How many times I've got to tell you? You can't have the World Cup and European Championships without an international break.
Yeah, true, man, true. But I don't know. Yeah, I know what you mean.
And you know when England gets the World Cup, we'll be all getting goose pimples.
Yeah, getting excited.
Quiz, by the way. So Shane, DJ, if you want to join in,
I'll be in for that. Yeah, 100%.
I think there's a Man United. There's a guy, a Man United fan. What's his name?
Creamer. Yeah, that's upcoming.
Yeah, he wants a piece. He wants a piece of the action as well.
Yeah, Mims loves it.
No, I've got to do the Arsenal one first because that's the one I'm first.
Of course, definitely, yeah. But there is another international break in November.
Yeah, that's when we're going to do the Arsenal Man United. That's you against Mims Creamer. I said it'd be you against him, and I said, right, it's head to head. I've already written.
I better brush up in my 1970s and 1980s Man United then, just in case you come at some trick questions.
Yeah. No, they're actually quite straight foot, actually. Fair play. But anyway, people, we're out of here. Take care, one and all.
Take care, guys. All the best.
Take care. Look yourself. Great show. Enjoy yourself.
Big up the chat.
Just before we go, has anyone noticed that Mbappe's been in the goals?
We're still live.
Yeah, he's different this season. He's a different beast this season. Yeah.
We're still live, guys.
Oh, yeah. All right, I'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, guys. There you go. Take care, buddy.